The Ford Bronco entered the Philippine market with a lot of fanfare, but with a nearly 5 million Philippine peso asking price and with so many options now available in the local off-road market, is this icon still relevant? Well, mga dude pare, time for us to find out. Let's do this. I remember my excitement when Ford Philippines announced that they are bringing in the Ford Bronco. And not just any Bronco, the sole variant here in the Philippines is the luxury-oriented Outer Banks, and it is equipped with the off-road-ready Sasquatch package. You see, this is the performance SUV equivalent of the Ranger Raptor, and it embodies the very essence of Ford's "Built Tough" slogan. Now, unlike the Ranger Raptor though, the Ford Bronco Outer Banks retails for 4,998,000 Philippine pesos, making it the most expensive Ford vehicle in the Philippines today. Now, this puts the Bronco at the same price level as other premium mid-size off-roaders, and so we ask, why would you even consider the Ford Bronco Outer Banks? Let's find out.
Here at Reagan's Rides, we do car reviews of SUVs, sports cars, trucks, and everything in between. So subscribe and hit the bell.
Alright, let's get the obvious out of the way. If you're looking for practicality in your SUV, well pare, best for you to look elsewhere. Yes, the Ford Bronco is a mid-size SUV and it can seat 5 people, plus it can also carry a lot of your stuff in the cargo area, but there are more affordable options out there that can also do the exact same thing. Heck, the Ford Everest can seat 7 people and is only half the price of the Ford Bronco. You see, if you spend most of your time on road, like on highways like where we are now, you'll find that the Bronco is noisy, it chugs gas like a drunk sailor, and of course you have to pay a steep 5 million Philippine peso entry price to have the privilege of driving this bucking horse. Now, driving the Ford Bronco on-road most of the time means that you have to live with its off-road quirks. We have the nice and beefy 35-inch mud grappler tires here, but they do generate a lot of noise when you're driving on the highway. I mean, I don't know if you can hear it. Maybe my mic is canceling it out, but dude, yeah, we're at 70 kph, and that's not white noise that you're hearing. That's the sound of the mud tires on the asphalt here on this highway. Yeah, pare. It can get noisy and it gets unbearable at 100 kph. I mean, yeah, you gotta live with that. Now, we also have a meaty and powerful 2.7 liter V6 EcoBoost gasoline engine here that can put out 335 PS and 555 Newton meters of torque, but that same engine can only do 5 kilometers per liter in the city and around 10 to 11 kilometers per liter on the highway. Now, true, you can put it in eco mode and you can use a very, very light foot, and on the highway you can stretch that figure to around 15 kilometers per liter. But yeah, going to eco mode means that you're deleting that yummy and throaty exhaust note from the V6 engine, and pare, if you do that, it's no fun, alright? It's no fun, to be perfectly honest with you. Now, the ride quality is also as expected from an SUV that comes with a truck chassis, since the Ford Bronco is based off the Ford Ranger. But since we have removable roof panels here, well, they are kind of noisy as well. You see, they have a tendency to creak when you're going through not so smooth roads, and in fact, they're kind of creaking a little bit right now. Now, because we have a truck chassis underneath, well, the cabin space here inside, it's not really the best out there. All right, it's not the biggest. Sure, we have a big looking car from the outside, a big looking SUV, but here inside, Yeah, not really that good, pare. Yeah, we can sit 5 people. In fact, I went on a road trip from Manila to Clark and back, and we were 5 inside the car. But yeah, the people in the back seat, they're not really the most comfortable. See, it's not the roomiest second row space. So yes, all I'm saying here, mga dudes, is if you prioritize practicality, there are more affordable options out there. Heck, you can even buy a Ford Everest and a Ford Ranger Raptor for the price of the Bronco. Or if you want a more practical SUV for the same price level, most people will likely go for the Toyota Land Cruiser LC300. But here's the thing about these more practical SUVs. Nobody will look at an LC300, a Toyota Land Cruiser LC300, and say, "Wow, look at that car! Check it out!" Nobody will do that. I mean, yeah, the LC300 is a great car. It's a fantastic car, but it doesn't really turn heads, pare. It doesn't turn heads. Unless you're thinking that it's probably another politician driving around the road. Now, the same thing can apply for the Ford Everest and to a certain extent the Ford Ranger Raptor. Now, you see, pare, here's the thing. The past week that I've been driving the Ford Bronco, well, pare, people always look. Yeah, I get a lot of smiles. There are some kids that would point at the car. The Ford Bronco, due to its rarity here in the Philippines, really stands out. I mean, it stands out, man. This is a highly emotional vehicle, and you don't get it for its practicality. You get it for the looks. You get it for the attention. Now, this is an SUV that makes you feel like you're a celebrity. Heck, pare, in the past week I've been driving this vehicle around. Yeah, it made me feel like I'm a celebrity.
Now, I truly felt like a celebrity when I was driving this Ford Bronco around because, dude, pare, it is a stunner, especially in this eruption green paint job. I mean, this green paint just really fits the whole off-road profile quite well. Now, the Bronco disappeared for 25 years, which explains why it doesn't really have such a big following here in the Philippines, like, let's say, the Jeep Wrangler or the Toyota Land Cruiser. Now, that disappearance is actually a big advantage for the off-road enthusiast who wants to stand out either on the road or on the trails. You see, one look at this bad boy right here, and you could tell that this is unique. This is distinctive, and it is so macho. I mean, pare, we've got the white Bronco lettering right there set in this all-black front grille. We've got the LED headlight units here with the LED DRLs that are shaped like the headlights found in the first-gen Bronco. And we also have these cable risers here, limb risers, where you can put some cables if ever you're going out on an off-road trail and you have to go through some tree branches and stuff like that. Now, pare, this all comes together to look like, yeah, it looks so badass. It looks so macho and unique. And you really just will stand out everywhere you go. And I love that. I love that about this Ford Bronco. Now, those 35-inch mud tires that sound so noisy on the highway, yeah, mga dude, pare, you gotta admit, they actually complete the look of this SUV. You see, it comes like this from the factory, part of the Sasquatch package. So you can go to the dealership and buy the Ford Bronco Outer Banks with the Sasquatch package, and it comes like this. It also has these 17-inch beadlock capable alloy wheels, which looks so badass on this SUV. I mean, there's really no need to modify the Bronco from the dealership. You can just buy it with 5 million Philippine pesos and just go straight out to the mountains or cross a river, and it's not gonna be an issue at all. Now, we also have Bilstein shocks here, part of the Sasquatch package, which means that you don't have to lift this SUV anymore. Now, the reason behind is we've got a very respectable 292 millimeters worth of ground clearance here and an 850 millimeters worth of wading depth. Yeah, pare, that is really high. I mean, if that's not high for you, I don't know what is. Now, one disadvantage though of having such a tall vehicle is that if you're wearing tight jeans, it's going to be a bit of a challenge to climb into the chassis of this SUV, to the cabin of this SUV. And the same would apply if you're if your missus or your partner is wearing a miniskirt, yeah, it's gonna be a bit of a problem if that's the case. Now, another feature of the Ford Bronco that truly draws attention would be the rear end design. See, we have the spare tire mounted right here on the tailgate, just like any proper off-roading SUV, but this is no regular and ordinary spare tire. You see, it's the same 35-inch mud tires that can be found all around the Bronco, and it looks perfect on this tailgate. It looks truly badass. Now, we also have a split opening tailgate here. See, the glass panel goes up, and that's intentional, my friends, because the roof panels of the Ford Bronco can be fully removed. But here's the thing, pare, here's the thing. We live in tropical Philippines, where the temperatures can go up to around 35 to 45 degrees Celsius, which is over 100 degrees Fahrenheit for the Western people out there. And I don't know if there's any Ford Bronco owner here in the country who's willing to go through the trouble of removing the roof panels just to look good, you know? Maybe they'll try it out once, and then that's it. They'll put it back on because it's really not comfortable to have no roof here in the Philippines. It's not practical, it's not comfortable as well. Now, the good thing here is being a 5-seater, the Ford Bronco also comes with a really cavernous cargo space. Now, I have my Tunker large trunk right here. Thank you, Tunker Philippines, for this. And as you can see, we can put that large Tunker luggage there and put a second one here and a third one on top. So you can put 3 large trunks here at the trunk of the Ford Bronco. Oop, mali. Yeah, split opening tailgate. You gotta follow a pattern. There you go. All right, now let's head over inside the cabin. All right, love the grab handles there, right beside the dashboard. Perfect. Oop, hold on. Yep, let me get into position. Okay, now, mga dude pare, I don't know if you noticed, but this is not really a full-blown features and specs car review video. I already did a walk around feature of the Ford Bronco last year. So if you want the lowdown on this gorgeous SUV in terms of the specs and features, you can watch that video by clicking on the link in my description below. Now, what I'm going to share with you about the cabin is just how practical and how easy this cabin is to use. First up, despite being a large SUV, having such a tall ride height, the visibility, the outward visibility is really, really good. We have a nearly vertical windshield here. It's kind of on the small side, but it does not compromise on the outward visibility, and it also minimizes on the blind spots of this vehicle, and I love that. The car is also very easy to drive. It's quite light, and it kind of reminds me of the Ford Everest, but you are like 10 times more gorgeous than the Ford Everest. I also love that we've got rubberized buttons here on the steering wheel, plus we have rubberized buttons on top of the dashboard there, and physical knobs and buttons here for all of the features that you need to use. The air conditioning, the audio system, you've got your 4-wheel drive system right here on the knob right here with the shifter. So I love that it's all physical. I love that it's physical and it's rubberized, so you don't have to worry about getting mud on these buttons and switches and knobs there. We also have the power window openers right here in the center because the doors are also user removable. So there's that. And I also love that despite having physical knobs and buttons, we still have some modern touches like the 12-inch touchscreen here that comes with wireless CarPlay and wireless Android Auto, and of course, the image of a 360-degree view camera. Another thing here that most of you would want to know, yeah, the roof panels are removable, as I said, and they are also insulated. You know, we live in tropical Philippines, and I'm doing this review during the height of Philippine summer, but the insulation of the roof panels are doing a great job in keeping the heat out. So I also love that. What else? Oh yeah, here. The key fob. I have the key fob in hand because, well, mga dude pare, it also comes with a remote engine start feature, which I use a lot during this week-long land out. I mean, as I said, it's the height of Philippine summer. So when I park this out on an outdoor parking area, all I need to do is press the lock button once and press the engine remote start twice, and the Bronco would start up with the air conditioning on. And that is perfect. That is perfect for the Philippine environment. Now, enough talking about the cabin. Let's go out on a light off-road trail and drive this Bronco in its natural environment.
Alright mga dude pare, so let's say you own a farm or you have to go to some remote mountain villages or cross rivers or do occasional off-roading and overlanding. Well, you will find that the Ford Bronco in its natural environment is a performer. You see, we have dual live Dana axles here, plus we also have front and rear locking differentials. So yeah, this SUV can easily go through any trail, any terrain that any stock off-roader can go through. It's not gonna be an issue at all. It's not gonna be a problem. Heck, we even have a turn assist here. The button is found right there on the top of the dashboard. And when you engage four-wheel drive and you engage that turn assist, you can make some really tight turns when you're on an off-road trail, and that is very, very useful mga dude pare, because yes, it's kind of hard to do a U-turn when you're in a narrow trail, but you can easily do that in this Ford Bronco with that trail turn assist. I love that. I really love that. Now, another thing that I love about this SUV is that it's actually shorter than the Ford Everest. Yeah, it's shorter than the Ford Everest, but it is a bit wider, so yeah, you have to be careful in narrow trails. So the mere fact that it's shorter means that we have some really aggressive off-road angles here. Plus the fact that we have that 292 millimeters worth of ground clearance. Yeah, dude, it's not gonna be an issue at all. You can easily cross rivers, you can cross more technical trails than what we're going through now. You see, time constraints means that I couldn't take this out on the rough mountains. So we're just here at Driftwood Action Park, Driftwood Sports Park, and we're taking this out off-roading like this. So yeah, it's pretty light. It's a pretty light trail. Now, so pare, here's the thing. We all know it's a capable off-roader, right? We all know that the Ford Bronco is over-engineered as an off-roader. So we go back to the question. At the end of the day, for 4,998,000 Philippine pesos, is it good enough to earn a spot in your collection?
And they said collection because the Ford Bronco is a certified toy for the big boy. It was built as a direct rival to the Jeep Wrangler, and in most areas, price included, it easily defeats the Jeep Wrangler. The Ford Bronco Outer Banks with Sasquatch package delivers a good balance of on-road manners and off-road capability, making it ideal for most off-road enthusiasts. And its relative rarity on Philippine roads means that you will also stand out on the road and on the trail. Now, that by itself makes the Ford Bronco Outer Banks a worthwhile addition to any off-road collection. Thanks for watching.